Hey y'all, today I'm making a story time video about my first time being manic at 15. It was kicked off by smoking weed and being on medication at the same time. So by saying that, I want to make it clear that you should not smoke weed or do any other substances than what you're prescribed, and do it the right way, what your doctor tells you to do, and make sure that you're okay, especially if you have problems like this, like bipolar 1 like I have, or anything along the lines of that. You need to be careful with what you use and the medications that you take in general. Mine was kicked off because I started Delta 8. I got it from somebody, and I was already on medication, and that medication did not work right, interaction with weed, and it caused me to see stuff, hear stuff, feel like my heart was beating out of my chest, like basically greening out every single time that I smoked, and I kept doing it. And I was getting in trouble. It caused a lot of problems with my family and the people in my house. Like, they didn't trust me anymore because the only thing I wanted money for was weed. And I was just, my mind was all messed up. I was sneaking out. I was being a rebel. So after I started smoking weed, the first thing that happened was that I went to somebody's house. The person that they gave it to me let me hit their pen, and he knew that it was my first time, so of course he did what some men like to do, and they take advantage, and that sort of kicked it off. I talked to him about it. He knew that it was wrong, but there was nothing, that it was already done. My best friend was living with me, and I think that's what kicked it off too, is that I had an influence on me, somebody who had already tried it. With that being said, I want anybody younger than me, or anybody older, or anybody who doesn't know what to do in that situation, to be careful with what is going on in your mind, and what you're doing to your body and to your mind. It can go any type of way. It could help you, but it could also do what it did to me and cause you to be doing stuff that's out of your character, and then it hits you at one point and you're like, whoa, what the fuck did I just do? Like, why was I doing that? Why did I think it was okay? Or why did I not think of how I was gonna feel a month later? After what kicked off my bipolar is that I was 13 and I had a boyfriend, and he was mentally abusive to me, and I stayed with him for 6 months, and eventually it just, something snapped in my brain, and I was just different. And I felt it when it happened. It's just hard to explain because people don't really think that it gets like that, but it really does. It does, for sure. It really does. It was him to do with other women. Like, I would get very insecure. I was insecure in that relationship until I got better and on medication. I wasn't on medication until I turned 14 because I never went to the doctor to see what was going on until I was already 14. It was April 4th, I remember. And so that's when I talked to my grandpa and let him know what was going on, and that I was really feeling bad. And he told me, he was like, we're gonna get you some help. If there's nothing else that we're gonna do, we're gonna get you some help. And 6 years later, I'm still trying my best to get help. I'm still hanging in there, so that's all that matters. My advice on getting better, and I'm gonna say all of this before I even get into like stuff that was going on inside of the mania and what I was doing, is that you need to, whatever happens, I know that you can't control what's going on in that moment unless you realize that you are manic, but I didn't even know that I was bipolar. And if you do know, watch out for signs that you could be manic, or you could be slipping into mania or depression, or whatever cycle you're going through, or whatever is you. Keep an eye on what's going on, especially if you're living like a faster life. Like, you're out with friends, you're out drinking, you're out partying, doing drugs, whatever. You need to be careful. All it takes is you to do one wrong thing that could mess you up. And I don't mean to sound like so harsh, but that's really how it is. That could mess you up. I had a situationship that you would call. I'm not gonna say his name. We're gonna call him K. And it was when I was 15, and it was exactly when all this stuff was happening, and it made everything so much worse because, like, on the inside of me, on the other side of me, dealing with what I was dealing with mentally, and then being on weed and sneaking out with my best friend, the person that I was going to sneak out to see was K. And K did not have any good intentions for me. I have good intentions for K to this day. I'm so glad that he's doing better. He has a kid, whatever. But it was just in that moment, we were both, well, he was 18, turning 19, I was 15. Freshly 15, but whatever. It was just the way that he treated me caused me to have a lot of problems with how I view myself, and it did not help the situation and me getting better in any type of way. And that's one thing that I don't forgive anybody for right now, because I'm still not past everything. But once I get past everything, and once I do feel better, I do plan to forgive people, and I will still love people to this day. But it's just like, bro, you can't be around me. I don't want to be around you. I don't care if you're family, friend, cousin, whatever. The warning signs that I seen was that I was being very, very, very hypersexual, and it was only with K, but still there were other things that led up to that, and it just wasn't me. I was also raped, and that's a whole nother thing. My friend was in the living room greening out, and I was just in the room getting raped, and then I tried to talk to him about it, and then K was just using me, and he had no respect for me. He was always on me. I think it was about a year after we had met the first time, and we had actually seen each other. So, but it wasn't going anywhere to him, but to me it was fucking my mind up, and I could not tell anybody because I wasn't supposed to be doing this shit anyway. I was sneaking out at 4 in the morning to see this dude with my friend, and she would see his cousin, and it was just like, yeah, living that fast life. What that girl say, living life like the motherfucking Lost Boys. But it was not good. How did Mania feel? Mania felt like I was just excited about everything that I got to do. I didn't care about getting in trouble. I wanted to be sneaky. I was just into whatever would make me excited, whatever felt better, whatever seemed normal, and I would justify it by saying, well, that's what teenagers do. Like, I have to be a teenager at least once, and that was it. But it wasn't. I'm not proud of it, but I made it out. That's all that matters. The misunderstanding coming from people, as far as like family and people around you, is that they see it as you being fast and you being mean and aggressive and irritable and depressed and a negative person and like a junkie, whatever you want to call it. I never like had no bad problems with drugs, but especially nothing crazy. But I do like weed, but the misunderstanding for people is crazy because they didn't see it in me, even though I didn't see it in myself until a few years later. I feel like somebody should have noticed instead of just getting mad or pushing me away even. It would cause a lot of problems with my grandpa, and he's basically my dad. So we would argue and be like, he would tell me that it's not good for me, and then basically just wanting the best for me, doing the best that he possibly could, and I just wasn't going. I was so stuck in the fact that, like, no, I want to live and I want to have fun. How do I cope, or how did I cope? After I stopped, my friend left, and that immediately shut everything down because nobody was there to do it with me. Nobody was there to give me an influence. I didn't have any reason to get out and do anything, because I wasn't going to go by myself. And I just realized that once things happen, they just happen. You can't take it back, but you can move on from that mistake or choice and use that to make better choices. Think about the way that you felt before, but don't dwell on it. What helps me now? I smoke weed and I take medication, but I'm in therapy also, and I'm trying to find a new doctor. And yeah, I am thinking about everything that I need to get done, but none of that's gonna come until I really get ready, and I'm okay with that. My school life, I dropped out of school at a very young age, and it caused me to be very isolated from people. So while this was happening, there was nobody to step in and be like, hey, this girl's doing stuff she don't need to be doing at this age, regardless of what it was about. My abusive relationships, stuff that was going on at home, whatever. I wasn't in with enough people for them to actually pay attention to me. Like, I was basically unknown, and that caused a lot of problems to this day. It ruined a lot of things for me, and I don't blame myself, because I was so young when I did it that it was just like, well, who's really to blame? The people that let me make that choice, or me making that choice at the age that I was? Because I was in elementary. I wasn't even in middle school yet. But I do plan to get a job very soon, and then get my license and GED, an apartment and things like that, and then start trying for a baby, and then get married, or get married and then try for a baby, you know how it's supposed to go. But regardless, the main thing I really want to do is just be happy, be at peace, get a job, get some consistent money coming in, and just have fun. I just want to be calm and have fun, talk to y'all, and be myself, and be productive, basically. That's what I'm working on. Therapy is being productive. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It is kind of a long one, but I know that you guys do like the long one, because that's the last one that I posted and got the most views. So I appreciate that very, very, very much. Please check my TikTok, check my Instagram and Snapchat. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe and comment. We can do sub for sub or whatever. Just let me know.